Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful sight? Not just that castle, but look at that. A reflection in the water. It's the Sometimes vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes, and sometimes, well, a lot of the time, it happens here at Disneyland. Welcome back, everybody. It's after midnight here, alongside of Sleeping Beauty Castle, over here by the little Fantasy Fair area of Disneyland, where over a year ago we started the quest for positivity together. Yesterday was Dapper Day. I was running around like a madman in a top hat and tails and gloves and a monocle, and a fake mustache or two may have been employed, and being Mr. Dapper and running around like crazy. If you missed yesterday's vlog, go see it. Well, I intended to film a second vlog going down Main Street at the end of the night, because usually every Dapper Day I go down Main Street and there's mayhem and we're running and we're screaming and we're jumping. Dapper Day, happy Dapper Day. But yesterday, the last attraction I actually rode on was It's a Small World, and I left my phone in the boat, and I was trying to recover my phone during which of the time when the closing was happening, and I couldn't. So I had to go to Lost and Found, and I was stressing because they were saying it might be till tomorrow. It might take all the way until tomorrow before we get your phone and we're able to return your phone to you. So I was thinking, oh no, what am I going to do without my phone? This and that and the other thing. And luckily, Matmost, who was with me from Utmost Studios, was calling and calling and calling it, and the very nice cast member named Wally answered the phone, and instead of just leaving it with all the other Lost and Found stuff, actually brought it all the way to the front gate, from Small World all the way through the park to the front gate, gave me the phone. Whew, and peace and righteousness were restored upon my pocket when my phone was restored also to it. So it turned out okay, but it did kind of humbuck my plans for second vlog yesterday. Now today, because yesterday I was in a top hat and tops and tails and running around with a cane and being a madman, and I know on Dapper Day I meet a lot of people. Everybody knows that I'm here on Dapper Day every Dapper Day, so I meet all kinds of awesome people. We shake hands, we take Dapper photographs, we run around like that lady when we have lightsabers, and we do wonderful things. There's a lot of Dapper people still here, actually, even though Dapper Day was officially yesterday. They had a Dapper Day car show and a Dapper Day slideshow at Downtown Disney today, or at the hotel. So Dapper Day Expo was still going on, so still plenty of Dapper people here, by the way. This isn't an attempt at dapperness. This is just an attempt at, it's wrinkly, and I had not a lot of other clean shirts going on. Anyway, so I was running around like crazy yesterday. I actually had to go home at one point during the day because I was pretty much about to give myself heat stroke or heat exhaustion or whatever. I was really dehydrated. Came back, and then all the parking garages were closed. It said Disneyland was capacity, all this crazy stuff. I had to walk all the way into the park. So even though I had made myself feel better, by the time I got all the way in here, I was feeling really terrible. So it was gnarly dehydration wise, but it was a heck of a lot of fun, and a heck of a lot of crazy mayhem and wildness happened yesterday, some of which was enshrined in the Sometimes vlog. Anyway, if I seem mellow, it's because, whew, Dapper Day is over. I'm recovering from that dehydration. Lately has been just a series of really crazy things. Today, for example, is one of those days. Have you ever had your feelings hurt by somebody you care about, or are upset, or you're sad about something and somebody that you care about is involved or whatever, and so it's not an enemy, it's not a stranger or something, and you try to explain to the person, like, look, I'm really upset about this thing, and you're just trying to express yourself or something, and it doesn't come out right. It comes out angry, or it comes out wrong, and the person misunderstands. And now, in addition to the thing that you were stressed out about in the first place, gosh, look at this, this looks amazing. In addition to the thing you were stressed out about in the first place, now you have all kinds of other problems to contend with, such as the miscommunication with the person that you love, or the people that you love, and it's all discombobulated and crazy. So I had that going on today, but lately, on top of all that, the dehydration, all this stuff, I had a series of a couple of really bad glutenings. We've talked about that in the past. You can go back and see that in some of the other Sometimes vlogs, but the whole gluten thing, celiac, wheat, I cannot digest it, and yeah, and then I had an abscess tooth and I'm just sick. So there's been a lot of personal downs lately for me, and one of the biggest things to get out of the way was Dapper Day, this year at Disneyland, and now Dapper Day is over. I am past it, and I am ready to prepare for my trip to Walt Disney World in Florida in about a week and 2 or 3 days. So I'm trying to recover from the long series of incidents and things that have been going on, recovering from Dapper Day, getting back my strength with the power of the Cobra, and getting ready to do a whole bunch of work in Florida, meet a whole bunch of new people, do a whole bunch of new sometimes vlogs. And by the way, look at this, Fantasyland at night. Disneyland is actually super closed, officially closed. Luckily though, there's still a bunch of people in line waiting for their turn to ride Peter Pan. So let's walk around closed Fantasyland a bit. Anyway, you're gonna have bad days. You're always gonna have bad days. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna say things you don't mean. You're gonna say things that you do mean in a way you didn't mean to say them. Bad things are gonna happen to you. You have to lean into them sometimes. Like for example, me, if I get sick, no matter how positive my mental attitude is, no matter how positive I want to think about it, I can't digest wheat. It's not going to change it halfway through the day if I'm really, really sick. Thinking positively is not going to just make the sickness go away. Sometimes I have to lean in and go, all right, today's a bad day, stomach-wise. It doesn't mean that I have to make it worse by having a worse attitude, but I just have to just think about, sometimes the most positive thing you can do is go, I'll try again tomorrow. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have bad days. You have to accept it. I'm trying to accept the ones that I've been having lately. But boy, oh boy, sometimes it gets tough, doesn't it? So yesterday was super fun, a lot of crazy stuff. And then today, the next day, while I'm trying to recover, trying to be calm, kind of a lot of bad stuff. Not a lot of bad stuff, just really brain foggy, miscommunicating, upset, kind of a weird day. On top of that though, something's been bothering me lately too, which I addressed a little bit on Twitter today, which I see a lot of sarcasm and negativity lately among people that I respect a lot, among people that I know and love and care about, but also among like people who are coming in. Maybe it's that there's more people coming into the vlogs and the periscopes and tweeting, and look at what a beautiful thing that is, just nobody. I was super crowded the last couple of days. I'm really enjoying this space and quiet. Anyway, I've seen a lot of tearing people down things. I really want to remind you guys and challenge you guys, those of you who respect me the way I respect you, you don't need to tear people down to be funny. A lot of people tell me, hey, what I really appreciate about Randomland, I really appreciate about the vlogs and what you do, Justin, is that you don't have to, what comedians call, work blue. Look at Dumbo there, just nobody. I love you, Dumbo. You know what I'm talking about, right, Dumbo? You never work blue. Work blue means you don't have to be nasty. You don't have to use shock humor and talk about things that are all just disgusting or be crazy or be super crude just to get a laugh. It's a lot harder to not do that. It's a lot harder to make jokes and never swear and never do whatever that kind of stuff is in the jokes. It's a little bit harder, but I think it's always more worth it. Is that good grammar? I think it's always worth it. So there's also the sarcasm thing. Everybody's sarcasm. Sarcasm is a staple part of all of our diets if you have a sense of humor at all. I'm not talking about just being sarcastic like, wow, there sure are a lot of people on this ride right now. I'm not talking about, whoa, that lady's outfit is so purple. It's like, how much more purple could it be? And the answer is none more purple. I'm talking about something where you're actually tearing down a person. Like, oh, look it, nobody on this ride, at least nobody cool, because that guy over there is a loser. Or look at that lady's outfit, she must be a loser for wearing it. There's this, it's really hard to prove when somebody's not being sarcastic in a funny way. Like, have you ever heard someone say something gnarly, rude, feelings hurting, soul-crushingly, sarcastically negative, and then they go, well, I'm just kidding? I kind of feel like that's one of the worst things you can do. Is go, I'm just kidding. Because even if you were kidding, that's not the way to go about answering the situation, right? I've said plenty of things. Listen, I make plenty of jokes, as you know. And as you know, many of them are extremely terrible jokes, and sometimes they get seen and heard by thousands of people that I don't even know. So as you can imagine, there are one or two people who've taken what I've said completely out of context or the wrong way and been offended. And I very rarely have I ever responded with, geez, I was just kidding. That's pretty much always the wrong way to respond to that type of situation. So if there's somebody in your life and you say, oh, nice shoes there, Captain Crunch, or whatever it is, and they're like, hey man, that really hurts my feelings. I really went out on a limb with these shoes and I really liked them. They're my favorite shoes. You don't have to go, geez, I was just kidding. You can say, oh, okay, I'm sorry man, I was just trying to make a joke. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I don't actually think the shoes are lame or anything. They reminded me of Captain Crunch. I'm sorry, you know. You don't have to be a jerk back. Anyway, that's totally a side note. It's really hard to prove though. It's hard to make a federal case for whether or not someone was actually joking when they do the cruel, mean thing and they say, oh yeah, I was just kidding. But you know there's a difference, because you know when you do it to someone, when you're having a bad day and you say some snarky thing to somebody and you're like, oh, I'm just kidding, and you know you weren't kidding, you just made an excuse for being kidding. Come on, we've all been there, we've all done it, we've all said things that we don't mean, and we've all meant things that we didn't mean to mean, you know what I'm saying? Look at that, isn't that fantastic? It's super fantastic. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, I've seen a lot of people lately around who, they're probably the same people who got picked on. This is the worst part, is the people who got picked on in high school, who had a really hard time, they've probably been bullied themselves, who've gotten older, or they're still in high school, or they're out of high school. It doesn't matter the age. Age never matters. They've gone out in the world, and they figured out, oh, people think I'm funny and clever if I tear other people down. And they don't think that's what they're doing. I'm just being funny. I'm just making a joke. I challenge all of you. You don't have to tear other people down to make yourself bigger. Even if you're making fun of yourself too, whatever, you don't have to put other people down and put every other situation down. I really want to spread this message, especially this day and age where it's cool to be the anti-hero and hate everything. It's cool to be the guy that comes to a place like Disneyland and go, oh, whatever, capitalism and whatever, like, I'm not even impressed by these carousel horses, hello. Like, it's very cool to have that cavalier attitude towards everything and just hate everything. It's okay, I want to spread this message. It is okay to like things. It is okay to be excited about a carousel horse. It's okay to like riding around in a circle on a painted horse. It is okay to be excited about pulling the sword out of the stone. We don't have to make fun of people who do it. Look at those idiots pulling on that sword. It's never gonna come out of there. I have always tried to be the opposite of that. Like, look how fun it is. Can you imagine if it came out and I was the rightful king of England? Can you imagine if this sword came out and I was the king of England? How amazing would that be? King Justin the First, probably, of England? That would be phenomenal. Now, the sword's not coming out. I'm not going to be the king of England tonight, apparently, because I tried and it didn't work. But you don't have to hate on everything just because. Just because. And I know it's really easy to make people laugh by tearing people down. Sometimes I pick up the thing and the cameras or the phone or whatever it is and I go, I really have no idea what I'm going to vlog about today, but I know that there are plenty of people that I need to spend time with, so I need to do something. It would be really easy to go find someone who I think looks ugly or stupid or something and stick a camera in their face and go, look at this guy, he's got a weird chin, probably because he sniffs butts or something, and just make fun of people and be rude. But we're all silly creatures and none of us are inherently better than any other people. The only thing that makes one person better than another person is their effort. Really, right? Is they've struggled hard to become a better person. That's it. A person who's not trying at all to be better is obviously worse than a person who is trying to be better. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe not. But inherently, built in, there's nothing that makes somebody better than somebody else. So what I'm saying is, yes, we all want to look at this flower and be like, look at this flower, so shitty looking. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about tearing people down. I see a lot of it lately. I see a lot of snark and negativity. And just think about it this way. When you were in high school, or junior high, or whatever it was, did you like it when people were like, ha, look at this idiot's shoes untied. Look, your shoes are untied, you loser. I'm picking something really dumb that it really isn't that offensive on purpose, just as an example. But you didn't like it, you know, oh, you fly down, you loser, when it was just tearing you down, and sort of that junior high mentality where everybody tears each other down to make each other feel like the big, clever, funny one in the room. There's a lot of people who, like, maybe they got picked on in high school, maybe they got beat up in high school, and they get older and they go, you know what? People think I'm really funny when I mock things. ooh, look at this castle, it's all blue. Like, what medieval castle was ever blue, right? I mean, don't invade us, we're blue and pink and doing whatever. Or let's make fun of somebody because of their, you know, gender. Or let's make fun of somebody because of their race. It's really not that different. Tearing people down is tearing people down is tearing people down. Now, having said that, and I gotta make sure that I cover my bases because people always take what I say, not always, but a lot of times people take what I say out of context. There's a difference between that and appreciating the funny side of life. Like Mark Twain said, the secret source of humor is not joy, but it's sorrow, just like Robin Williams. So I was saying, you know, the funniest guy in the room is probably the saddest and that kind of thing. It's because we see the old man trying so hard to carry a tray of apples and he falls in a really comedic way and the apples go flying around and one flies into a horse's mouth and then the lady falls backwards into a fountain and there's some slapstick comedy going on. It's funny and we all laugh because we all know it sucks, right? Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh my gosh, that was so terrible. Oh my gosh, but it's so funny. Isn't that funny? We can all see the funny side of the tragedy, right? There's a difference between seeing the funny side of something that has happened versus going and making fun of people for what they can't control or something. Like, you made a typo, you must be some kind of moron and idiot. Ha 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 ha, look at me, how clever I am that I made fun of somebody for making a typo or doing whatever. I really don't like that. So I am challenging you all, look inside of your heart and try to not do that. Please, it's a quest for positivity thing for me personally. I have sarcasm, I say snarky, snippy things sometimes to my friends, usually only to the people I really love and care about, and I throw out a lot of different kinds of jokes and different kinds of things out into the universe, but I promise you, I'm just telling you, and I promise you that it's worth cutting that out of your diet as much as possible. It's worth being sincere. It's okay to be sincere. There's nothing wrong with being sincere. Be the person, be the best person you can be, even if it's going to make you less popular. It would be really easy. Just go around making fun of people and being the coolest, most clever person you can. It's a lot harder to be sincere, to actually care about people and make a positive difference in people's lives. But I really, really believe that if every single person, you can't make other people do this. And I'm talking about a self-examination here. I really believe that if you look inside of yourself for the good things and spread those around, and not the snark, and not the bad attitude, not the stuff, and you try and contain that stuff, the world will be a better place. Person by person, by person by person. Alright, enough of that rant. I've just seen a lot of that going around lately. Oh, by the way, that makes me grumpy frumpy when I see it. I don't appreciate it. Grumpy frumpy there. Hashtag grumpy frumpy on the sarcasm and the negativity. I'm not talking about just being sarcastic and funny, like I said. I'm talking about actually, you know, tearing people down to make you look like the cool, clever one in the room. I don't think it's nice. I don't think it's necessary. I don't like it. I just don't like it. You guys know what I'm talking about? Weigh in. How do you tell the difference between, where's that line there? It's a really fine line. It's almost a case-by-case basis thing, so it's hard to point out and say, there it is. Because like I said, when you point it out, half the time people are, I'm just joking, come on, what's your problem? Have a sense of humor. Right? You know what I mean. Look at this closed fantasy land. It's awesome. Anyway, I'm supposed to be recovering. I'm supposed to be resting and relaxing. I got this big trip to Walt Disney World. It's coming up very, 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 very soon. And so, I'm going to try and take it easy between now the Dapper Day is out of the way, and going to Walt Disney World to film the Random Lands. But there are some Random Lands coming. We are working on the Dapper Day video that way. Go watch the vlog from yesterday. But if you like that vlog, let me tell you, you ain't seen nothing yet, because there's a lot of Dapper about to come straight for your Dapper face. I'm very excited about it. And by the way, on a totally separate note, hold on a second, let's take one more beautiful look at the castle from the side here. Oh, she is a beautiful lady, isn't she? Yes, she is. She's 60 years old, but she doesn't look a day over 5, which for a castle is new. You understand? That was okay, that's a whole weird, let's undo that sentence from time, right? Okay, anyway, look at this. Shaboom! The power of the Cobra. I would like to announce that we did it, gang. Look at, man, I look so tired. Man, I look like somebody punched me with all of my own bad decisions. Anyway, the power of the Cobra. I went into the Indiana Jones Adventure Outpost tonight, which is the store in Adventureland that sells these leather Power of the Cobra bracelets. Let's walk out of Disneyland now. Which sells the leather Power of the Cobra bracelets. And there were only 9 Cobra bracelets left. Out of like, seriously, like a lot of bracelets. Only 9 bracelets are left, which means that we have slowly but surely been buying up all of the Cobra bracelets. I talked to the woman that was working inside of the Indiana Jones Adventure Outpost, and she said that over the Dapper Day weekend, so many people have come in and bought the power of the Cobra. She had no idea what was going on, and she's like, what does it mean? Well, you can go back in the vlogs, and you go, ooh, look at this, the Halloween tree's here. Let's go take a look at the Halloween tree at night, because there are so many security guards telling us we can't, which is nice. They sweep out each land by land, and tell people, sorry, you can't go this way, sir or madam, so we may get kicked out of here, but let's try anyways. Anyway, I went in there, and she says, what does the power of the Cobra mean? And of course, you can go back on these vlogs and you can see that it was just a joke, because it was kind of a weird souvenir. A leather bracelet with a cobra on it. Indiana Jones doesn't even like snakes. He hates snakes. What kind of souvenir is this? Who would buy this? And day by day, as I was walking by it, anyway, there's a whole story there where day by day, and eventually I bought one for myself, and then eventually I turned into this whole thing, you know, punch your way into a new lifestyle, the power of the Cobra. Did somebody in your family die? Punch them back to life, or, you know, just crazy things about punching away your feelings, and just all these funny jokes about the power of the Cobra. But well, I'll tell you what the power of the Cobra means to me today. The power of the Cobra, and the fact that so many of them were sold, look at this, by the way, isn't this amazing, means to me that there are a lot of kindred spirits out there, people, you guys, who have some imagination left, who have some sense of fun and adventure left. We can all buy the silliest bracelet ever and run around, the power of the Cobra. You know what's great is, a lot of times adults don't get the power of the Cobra thing, but kids always immediately, inherently, intrinsically, in their DNA, understand immediately, like, yeah, the power of the Cobra, the power of the Cobra, the power of the Cobra. Look at this. Rancho del Zocalo. If you haven't seen all this stuff, this is Zocalo Park in Frontierland. If you haven't seen all this crazy stuff, go watch my randomize about Halloween decorations and all the fall roundups and Halloween roundups and stuff like that. YouTube.com/livefast.4. I've showed all of these things before. We're gonna go towards Ray Bradbury's Halloween tree here in a second inside of Disneyland. Ray Bradbury, big Disneyland fan, turns out. Look at this. Look at all these dapper people. Looking very dapper, sir. I like that. Survivors, dapper survivors. Look at this. The Halloween tree. I really want to get a Christmas tree, spray paint it black, and have a Christmas tree for a Halloween tree. Look at Halloween pumpkins. It's fantastic. It's genius. There should be one of these on every street corner in America. The Halloween tree. Anyway, now I meet so many people with it. The power of the Cobra thing, it just really represents that there's all these people out there who have a sense of humor, a sense of fun, and I know that they're all people who, like you, like me, are trying to be positive. It's a negative world. Listen, there's famine and disease and death and discomfort and diarrhea and all kinds of bad stuff in the world. But it doesn't mean we all have to have bad lives. Bad stuff happens to us. I have problems. I can't digest certain foods. I'm sick a lot because of that. And you know, I am not where I want to be at in my personal life. Let me tell you, the people that I love and care about are super far from me. I have no way of getting at them sometimes. And my best friend Tyler is moving away, and all kinds of bad things will happen, and, you know, I'm talking to people and slabbed and I was talking, you know, I meet people that have way worse problems than me, like crazy diabetes or in wheelchairs, or crazy stuff happens. I meet all these people all the time now who have way worse problems than me, so I'm not trying to use myself as an example because I think my life's so terrible, but just so I don't have to pick on anybody else, really. Bad stuff happens. Super bad stuff happens sometimes. Bad stuff that makes no sense. No matter how positive you are, bad stuff happens that will make absolutely no sense. Mind-bogglingly so. But especially going back to the thing about snarkiness and not making fun of people and all that kind of stuff, and not tearing other people down. Not making fun of people. I mean, go ahead. If your friend is wearing 2 different color socks, take him to town, as long as he knows you actually love him. But I'm talking about just tearing people down to build yourself up, all that kind of bad stuff. Dare to be kind and sincere, even if it doesn't pay off right away. You know, even if you don't see immediate results from it, dare to be different, kind, sincere, to actually like what you like, to put yourself out there, to live in the kind of world that you would want to live in. You know, where I would love to be sincere and say what I want to say without fear of, yeah, you're a loser. It's hard to put yourself out there, trust me, because for every one of you that's positive, there's somebody out there who's saying, what an idiot, that guy's feelings are dumb. Trust me. But you have to deal with that stuff. You can't let that make you hard on the inside and callous and negative and turn you into a negative person, because all that's gonna do is make your life negative, right? So be as positive as you can. Do what you can do. Even though bad stuff happens, you don't have to accept that that's the nature of the universe. We can still be positive and do our best to make the people around us happy, because really, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So no matter how tired and sick I am, I'm out here doing the sometimes vlog, meeting people whenever I can, doing Snapchats and Instagrams and things, and doing what little I can do to be nice to people, and it's the same thing. Let's all try to be nice and do our best. I don't know, it sounds cheesy, it sounds corny, but hashtag Q4P, you gotta do something positive every day. Try to do something positive every day. You're gonna have bad days, gotta accept them, blah, 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 blah. We'll try. Look at this, closed Disneyland. It's closed. It's time for me to go. I've had a long but healthy speech with you guys. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore because I am so tired. What a crazy Dapper Day weekend. Florida in just a little while. All kinds of things to prepare for that. So I'm gonna try and take it easy in the next couple days. We'll see what taking it easy looks like. I don't know if I actually know how to do that or not. But anyway, I love and respect all of you guys that are positive, who leave positive comments, constructive feedback to, not just to me, but to each other. I noticed that, you know, that there's all these people that have come together now, Power of the Cobra and Quest for Positivity style, who are so nice to each other, kind to each other, and I really, really appreciate that. You don't have to tear other people down to make yourself feel better. Trust me, if you invest in yourself enough to be kind and sincere, you're going to start attracting the kind of people who appreciate you for who you actually are, and not because you're the most clever guy in the room who can tear people down the most. Believe me, I was one in high school when I was a young, immature lad too, when I was a jerk. And now I go out and try not to be that, and I try to be as sincere as possible. And yeah, there are some people who like to make fun of me, and there are haters, and there are people who like to leave little comments online and call me out and say I'm a loser. Believe me, seriously. But for every single one of those, there's like 10 people who are super kind, super amazing, who have like totally changed my life with their kindness, with their positivity. And anyway, I know there are people waiting for me on Main Street to talk to me. I can spot one of them now. There's Disney bounding John from Disneyland and some others who've been lurking in the shadows, so I'm gonna go. Thank you for being with me. This Sometimes vlog, in other past Sometimes vlogs, in future Sometimes vlog. Go back and watch yesterday's Dapper Day Sometimes vlog. Look out for the Dapper Random Land. It's coming your way. I think there's still free shipping. LiveFast.com. I don't know if I've already talked about that or not, because it's now 27 minutes into a vlog. I am very thirsty and hungry and tired. I was here testing my camera, I don't know if I mentioned that, for Florida, so that's why I'm even here. Probably, now that I've done my duty, need to go home and sleep well. And so do all of you. You've done your duty now. Go home and sleep well. Unless you're halfway through your shift at work and you're an air traffic controller, then you should probably not be watching this vlog. You should probably work. And then watch vlogs later. Probably. All right, I'm gonna go say goodnight to Jimberly, the Imberly over there, the Indian. Main Street Indian. I didn't make that up, that's what other people call him. And I will talk to you guys later, okay? You've done your duty, 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 you've done your Pinocchio Dapper duty. Go home and
sleep well.